Hey everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to start this Python journey with you. Today we're talking about something super important, variables and data types. Imagine your computer's memory is like a giant warehouse full of empty boxes. If you just put things in random boxes, how would you ever find them again? You need labels. In programming, these labels that help us store and find information are called variables. Or think about filling out an online form. You enter your name, which is text, your age, which is a number, maybe check a box, which is like true or false. These are all different types of data. Python needs a way to understand what kind of data it's working with. So in this video, you'll learn the absolute basics, what variables are and how we create them. The most common types of data you'll use all the time in Python: numbers, text, and true-false values. Why does this matter? Because everything you build in Python, from simple scripts to complex applications, uses variables and data types. They are the fundamental building blocks. So let's get started. Okay, so what exactly is a variable? Simply put, a variable is a named storage location in your computer's memory. Think of it as a labeled box where you can keep a piece of information. You give the box a name, the variable name, and you put something inside it, the value. Its main purpose is to hold data that you might want to use later in your program, or data that might change as your program runs. To put a value into a variable, we use the assignment operator, which is just the equal sign. This might look like math, but in programming, it means assign the value on the right to the variable name on the left. It's like putting the value into the labeled box. For example, if we write player score equals 100, we are telling Python, create a variable named player score and store the value 100 in it. Now, you can't name your variables just anything. There are a few rules and common practices. Variable names must start with an uppercase or lowercase letter, AZ, or an underscore, but they cannot begin with a number. The rest of the name can contain letters, numbers, 09, and underscores. Spaces are not allowed in variable names. Variable names are case sensitive. That means age, and age are three different variables. A common practice in Python is to use snake case for variable names, all lowercase letters with words separated by underscore, like first name or item count. It makes code easier to read. Also, avoid using names that are already Python keywords, like print, if, for, while, etc. Your editor might highlight these differently. Great, we know how to label our boxes, variables. But what about the stuff we put inside? That's where data types come in. A data type tells Python what kind of data a variable holds and what kinds of operations you can do with it. Is it a number you can do math with? Is it text you can display? One cool thing about Python is that it's dynamically typed. This means you don't have to explicitly tell Python what type of data a variable will hold beforehand. Python is smart enough to figure it out automatically based on the value you assign. Let's look at the most common basic data types you'll use constantly. First, we have integers, or int. These are whole numbers. They can be positive, negative, or 0, but they don't have a decimal point. Think counts, scores, or simple whole number values. Next are floating point numbers, or float. These are numbers that do have a decimal point. They're used for prices, measurements, or any value where precision is needed. Then we have strings, or str. Strings represent text. You create them by enclosing characters within either single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't matter which you use, as long as you are consistent for that string. Names, messages, addresses, these are all usually strings. Finally, we have the Boolean type, or bool. This one is simple but powerful. A Boolean can only have one of two values, true or false. Notice the capital T and F. That's important. Booleans are essential for making decisions in your code, like checking if a user is logged in or if a game condition is met. Since Python figures out the type for us, how can we check what type a variable actually holds? We can use the built-in type function. You just put the variable name inside the parentheses, and Python will tell you its type. We'll try this out in a moment. All right, theory is great, but let's actually write some code. Open up your Python environment. You can use IDE or any simple text editor and the terminal. Let's create variables for each type we just learned. Follow along with me. My age equals 30. This is an integer. Item price equal 450. This is a float. Student name equals Bob. This is a string. Is logged in equals true. This is a Boolean. Now let's display the values using the print function. Print my age, print student name, print item price, print is logged in. See, the print function shows us the values stored in our variables. Now let's use that type function we talked about. Print type my age, print type item price, print type student name, print type is logged in. Look at that output. Python tells us the class or type of each variable. Int, float, star, and bool, just as we expected. Variables aren't set in stone. You can change the value they hold. Let's update my age. My age equals 31. Print my new age, my age. You can even change the type of data stored in a variable. This is part of what dynamically typed means. Watch this. Temp var equals 10. Print type temp var. Temp var equals now I'm text. Print type temp var. See, temp var started as an integer, but then we assigned a string to it and Python automatically updated its type. Pretty flexible. When you're starting out, you'll definitely run into some errors. That's totally normal. Let's look at a few common ones related to variables and data types. Mistake 1, forgetting quotes. What if you forget the quotes around a string? My name equals Alice. Oops, Python gives us an error. It thinks Alice is another variable, but it hasn't been defined. My name equals Alice. Adding quotes fixes it. Print my name. Remember, text needs quotes. Mistake 2, using undefined variables. What if you try to use a variable before you give it a value? Print undeclared var. Name error. Python is saying, I don't know what undeclared var is. You must assign a value to a variable before you can use it. Undeclared vars now I exist. Mistake 3, case sensitivity. Remember, variable names are case sensitive. My var equals 5, print my var, using lowercase v. Another name error. Even though my var exists, my var, all lowercase, does not. Be careful with capitalization. Mistake 4, invalid names. Trying to start a variable name with a number or use invalid characters like hyphens. First place equals gold, or item cost equals 10. You'll get a syntax error. Python doesn't allow names like these. Stick to the naming rules. Start with a letter or underscore. Use only letters, numbers, and underscores. Let's apply what we've learned. We'll create a simple player profile for a game character using variables. We need a name, level, health points, whether they have a special item, and how many items they're carrying. Character name equals Shadow Rider. String for the name. Level equals 15, integer for the level. Health points 88.5. Float for HP could be fractional. Has magic sword equals true. Boolean yes or no. Inventory items equals 3, integer for the count. See how we chose a data type that makes sense for each piece of information? Name is text. Level is a whole number, int. Health can be decimal, float. Having the sword is yes, no, bool. And item count is a whole number, int. Now let's print out this profile neatly. Print player profile. Print character, character name. Print level, level. Print HP. health points. Print has magic sword, has magic sword. Print items and inventory, inventory items. Here are the results. You see the formatted output in the console. Player profile, character, Shadow Rider. Level 15, HP 88.5, has magic sword, true. Items and inventory 3. Awesome. Using variables makes it easy to store, manage, and display this information. If the character levels up or loses health, we just update the corresponding variable. Ready for a small challenge to test your skills? Your task is on the screen. Declare variables to represent a book with the details shown. Then print out both the value and the type for each variable. Pause the video now, give it a try, and then come back to see one possible solution. Welcome back. How did it go? Just a couple of quick things to think about. What happens if you add an integer and a float? Try print 5 plus 2.5. Python often converts the integer to a float for the calculation, resulting in a float. How can you join strings together? This is called concatenation. You can use the plus sign plus to combine strings. Notice we added a space string in the middle. Think about other real-world things you could model with these basic types, maybe a recipe, a bank account, or a weather report. We covered a lot. Let's quickly recap. We learned that variables are named labels for storing data in memory. We used the equals sign to assign values to variables. We explored the fundamental data types, int for whole numbers, float for decimal numbers, star for text, and bool for true or false. Remember, Python figures out the data type for you, and you can always check a variable's type using the type function. Don't forget to check the video description below. You'll find links to all the code snippets used today, the challenge exercise, a downloadable cheat sheet summarizing these concepts, a quick quiz to test your knowledge, and the key takeaways. You now know how to store data inside your program, but how do you get information from the user or show your results to them in a more interactive way? In our next video, we'll cover exactly that, basic input and output. We'll learn how to use the input function to get data from the user and explore more ways to use the print function to display information. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you don't miss the next lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and happy coding.